So if you haven't joined my email list yet, you need to. And well, you don't need to, but you should. Well, you don't have to, but you could join the email list. It's pretty cool. So I did an email it was yesterday on home, on the feeling of home. And I woke up this morning thinking about home. Like, what does home mean to me? Where is it? And we often hear, home is where the heart is, and it's a place within us. It's a place that we think of, that we give our attention to. Home. I was giving greater thought to friendship and people and relationships and how that feels like home. How that can be our home. The deep learning and the richness and the truth shared and the challenges faced and the aggression sometimes experienced and the sadness and all of it, the fertile ground that provides us an experience of the spectrum of feeling and being and emoting in the world. That feels like home. The sacredness of relationships, the sanctity of trust and reliance that we find in our relationships, right? In our relationship to those that we love. Where do you have that in your life? I work with so many people, and I have done for so many years, that I've found so many people don't have that. They don't have that feeling of home. They don't feel safe in the presence of other people because as young children in different ways, they've been hurt by other people. They've been hurt by people that were meant to care for them, that they perceived to be safe, but they weren't. They were equal sources of terror and equal sources of sustenance in various ways. And that's tainted the way that they see the world. They give and receive love. And so they don't feel safe in relationships. And if you don't feel safe, you don't feel like you're at home. You don't feel like you belong. And that sucks. And that's painful. And so we have these homes that we build for ourselves, yet we don't feel at home. We feel restless. I've felt restless so much of my life. Not because I didn't have people that I trusted, not because I didn't have people in my life that saw me, because I felt disjointed, because in my intimate relationships that were reflections, unconscious reflections and extensions of my parental relationships, I felt restless in those relationships. They were meant to feel like home, but they never did. Because I never felt at home here, because I hadn't settled that unresolved trauma, that abuse, that violence and volatility. I felt disconnected. And I find myself now in intimate relationship running from intimacy when I'm feeling overwhelmed or when I'm feeling stressed or disjointed. Now, the running isn't as hard and as fast and as unconscious as it once was, nowhere near that. But it's still there in my nervous system. And I've done deep amount of work on myself, and I continue to do that self-exploratory work. And I wonder, for those of us that haven't, that aren't at that stage yet, or that level of wanting to, or being able to, how's that level of restlessness feel? How's that level of pain feel? I think intense. I think really, really intense. I think we have a bunch of people running around trying to be adults and doing the adulting thing, yet feeling massively unsafe and not feeling like they belong, not feeling like they are at home. And that makes me super sad. And it also inspires me. Because now we have an opportunity with that juxtaposition, right? With that contrast, to bring an element of home, of what's possible to that person. And all we need to do is just show up. We just need to show up as ourselves in healthy states of being. We need to do our own clearing, be safe harbors of truth for other people. So our nervous systems are relaxed, so their nervous system can relax. And in that spaciousness, guess what? Something is created in them. It gives them access to a possibility that they didn't even know existed, because they were able to put their guard down temporarily. Even in those moments, they feel just a sense of safety. Fucking wow. And we heal in relationship. We grow in relationship. We find our divinity, our sense of truth in relationship. That's how we get home. It's not in a rocket ship that takes us to Mars. Nothing wrong with that, but that's not how we get home. We get home by finding it in here first, by clearing the clutter of the past. And we do that in relationship. So who can you be of service to? Number one, you. Number two, who else? Who else can you be of service to? Who can you help find their home? Because in doing so, you'll help find your own. Power and blessings to you.